Every two-way sync between HubSpot and another system, a billing platform, a ticketing tool, another CRM, carries the same latent bug. System A writes a change to System B. System B notices it changed and dutifully writes it back to System A. A notices, writes to B. And now two computers are playing catch with the same field at 400 requests a minute, all night, until your rate limit alerts wake you up. It's called ping-pong. Every integrator hits it eventually. And today I'll show you the three-part design that makes it structurally impossible. Here's the loop in slow motion. A rep updates a phone number in HubSpot. Your webhook fires. The sync service writes the phone to the ERP. So far, correct. But the ERP treats that write like any other change. It emits its own change event. Your sync service picks it up, sees a modified phone field, and writes it back to HubSpot. HubSpot's webhook fires again. Neither system is wrong. Each is faithfully reporting a change. The problem is your sync service can't tell the difference between a human's edit and the echo of its own write. That distinction is the entire fix. The first fix everyone tries is comparing values. Only write if the values actually differ. It helps, and you should do it. But it fails in two ways. 1. The systems format data differently. HubSpot stores the phone with parentheses. The ERP normalizes to E.164. Now the values never match. Every comparison says changed, and the loop continues with extra steps. 2. Even with perfect normalization, value comparison can't resolve a genuine conflict. A rep edits the phone in HubSpot, while support edits it in the ERP. Something has to decide who wins, and the values alone can't. You need two more pieces of information: who wrote last and when. Fix 1. Every write your sync makes is signed. Alongside the actual field, the sync writes a last updated by property, sync:ERP, when it's carrying a change from the ERP into HubSpot, and the mirror image on the other side. Here's the elegant part. Humans never set this property. So if the phone's modification is newer than the sync stamp, a human touched it, that's a real change. If the stamp and the modification line up, the last writer was the sync itself, and a change the sync wrote is an echo, not news. Fix 2. Timestamp comparison with a tolerance window. When both systems show changes, the most recent human edit wins. That's the conflict rule, and you should write it down where the business can see it, because it is a business decision wearing a technical costume. The tolerance window matters more than it looks. Two servers' clocks are never perfectly aligned, and a write takes real time to land. If two timestamps are within a few seconds of each other, treat them as the same event and do nothing. Without that window, clock skew alone can convince your sync that its own write from 2 seconds ago is breaking news. Fix 3 ties it together in the sync loop itself. A 3-gate filter every incoming change passes through. Gate 1, the echo check. If the record's last writer was the sync and nothing was modified after the sync's own timestamp, this event is the echo of our write bouncing back. Drop it. That's the gate that breaks the infinite loop. Gate 2, normalize both sides and compare. If the values already agree, there's nothing to do. Gate 3, what survives is a real human change. So write it through, stamped, which arms the echo check on the other side for the return trip. 3 gates, maybe 15 lines, and the loop is structurally dead. And this is what health looks like. A sync log where every event gets a decision, and most decisions are dropped. 9:14, a rep edits a phone. It syncs to the ERP. 3 seconds later, the ERP's echo arrives, dropped by gate 1. 11:30, a genuine conflict, both systems edited. HubSpot's edit was newer, so it wins, and the log says so. A quiet log full of drops isn't your sync doing nothing. It's your sync declining to do damage. Log every decision, including the drops. When someone asks why a field changed at 11:30 on a Tuesday, this log is the answer. Gotchas from real portals. HubSpot workflows are a hidden third player. If a workflow reformats the phone right after your sync writes it, that's a genuine new modification. Your stamp is stale, and a naive design starts relaying workflow edits in a circle. Make sure your workflows and your sync don't share custody of the same fields. Remember, rate limits are per account, not per token, so a ping-pong loop doesn't just burn its own budget. It starves every other integration you run. When you're debugging who wrote what, property history reads cap at 50 per batch, not 100. And the meta lesson: ship one-directional first, then promote fields to two-way individually, each with an owner of record. Every field that syncs both ways is a field that can fight. The design on one slide. Stamp every sync right with who made it. Compare timestamps with a tolerance window. Newest human edit wins. Filter echoes at the front door of the loop. And log every decision, especially the ones where you did nothing. This isn't HubSpot specific. It's the same pattern that keeps any pair of systems from arguing. But HubSpot's webhooks and per-account rate limits make it unusually easy to get wrong and unusually expensive when you do. That's the anti-ping-pong build. The best compliment a two-way sync ever gets is that nobody has thought about it in months. If you want one real HubSpot admin build like this every week, subscribe. Everything on this channel comes from production portals, not demo data. And if you've got two systems currently playing catch with your CRM at 3 in the morning, the booking link in the description is faster than debugging it alone. See you in the next one.